Hi there, it's Dr. Pam Garcia. I'm kind of excited because today I'm going to be talking to you about a topic that seems like it just seems so important with every single person I work with. So I'm excited to share some thoughts about that. And it's the topic of self-love and self-acceptance. So let me kind of start with the second one first. The type of therapy that I do with people involves, and the type of coaching I do involves self-acceptance very, very often. It's how do I accept me as a human being, someone who can make mistakes, someone who can mess up, somebody who can have weirdnesses that I don't like. How can I accept myself as a human being, right? As opposed to critiquing and picking on myself. So most people who I see will pick on themselves. And this is like really bad in terms of creating anxiety and depression if you do it too much. So the picking on the self is sometimes leading to depression, sometimes leading to fear, just all this kind of self-critiquing behavior. What we want to learn to do in terms of creating self-acceptance is we realize that we're fallible, we have our idiosyncrasies, and that's just a part of being human. And we just fully decide that that is all right. That is just part of who we are. It isn't the whole of who we are. The other piece of self-acceptance is we stop doing this thing called global self-rating. We stop saying, I'm bad because I don't do this, or I'm fill in the adjective, a negative adjective. I'm a blank, fill in the negative noun because I don't do this. We just want to realize that in this moment in time, we did whatever we did. It wasn't exactly great or perfect or whatever, but we can accept ourselves as learning, as in the process of growth. And when we do that, we don't have to rate ourselves. We can look at our behaviors and say, I don't like the behavior. The behavior isn't good that I did, or the behavior really was pretty repelling to another person, or what have you, but I can learn from that. I can regret it, and I can learn from it, and I can try to train myself to do something better next time around. So that's where we have an advantage as human beings, is we have the capacity to learn, and we have the capacity to grow. And so if we recognize ourselves as people who learn and grow, we can then use that as the basis for self-acceptance. Now, talking about self-love, some people, they hear the term self-love and they think that that means arrogance or narcissism. They think that that means grandiosity, or they think that that means that you are selfish and you don't care about anybody else in the world. Now, in the type of work that I do with people, I want people to get a balance between interest in themselves and interest in others. Ultimately, it is in your own self-interest to be interested in other people and to care about them, because you're a part of a social system. Very often you're either a part of a family, a community, a workplace setting that has some people in it. We could go on. Religious groups, political groups, whatever you want to say. But the thing is, it's in your interest to have both self-interest and social interest. Now, in terms of self-interest, that's not self-interest to the exclusion of everyone else. Isn't what I'm talking about when I say self-love. Self-love is simply a practice and a byproduct. So it's a byproduct of practicing self-acceptance, and it's also a practice of seeing the best in ourselves and giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt. So can you pause self-criticism for just a moment and see the positivity in you and recognize your effort? Recognize your growth, recognize your progress, recognize even perhaps a reframe of a negative way of looking at yourself. So for example, if you're calling yourself stupid because you didn't do well on a test at school, let's say you're in college or high school and you didn't quite do as well as you wanted, okay? And now you're calling yourself stupid. Now you're telling yourself, your whole being, that it's stupid. Now that's not fair. You just didn't do well on a test. So let's use self-acceptance. First of all, I'm a person who makes mistakes. I'm a person in growth. I'm a person in process. That test result shows that I wasn't as intelligent as I could have been in my study skills, in my memorization, in my planning, in my learning and acquisition of the information, in my expression of the information, maybe in my carefulness. However, that doesn't make me stupid. It just means in this moment I didn't do my best, and I can regret that behavior. I can also give myself acceptance and realize that I can grow and I can change and I can improve. And now I can use that knowledge to improve my behavior next time. In addition, I can be kind to myself now and show self-love. So I can say, you know, I'm really proud of myself for wanting to do well. And I am proud of myself for making some efforts. And I am proud of myself for being someone who learns and grows. And I am proud of myself for what I did well and what I did right. And I can be happy for myself that I am, learning, and I can love myself and do kind things for myself. And I don't have to practice thoughts that aren't true. I don't have to call myself a name. Rather than seeing me as stupid, the most loving thing would say, loving part of me would say, you're not stupid, you're smart, you're learning. People who are learning make mistakes and grow. You may learn more from this test than you've learned from any other test that you got an A+ on. So let's use this as an opportunity for learning and growth. That'd be an example of how I could be loving to myself. Rather than shaming myself, I soothe myself. Rather than being mean to myself, I'm nice to myself. That's what I'm talking about. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. I know that if you practice self-acceptance, it will help you grow your self-love. And if you practice being loving to yourself, you will also feel more loving to yourself and more self-love. And these practices can help you in terms of just reducing your overall negative emotions, including depression and anxiety at times. So I would encourage you to practice it, and thank you for listening.
This is my life, and I'm free.